So in order for you to get into medicine, you had to be one of the best performing students and definitely highly driven. Like, especially if you got into medicine, you didn't get into medicine by accident. I don't know anybody who became a nurse practitioner by accident. I don't know anybody who became an RN by accident. I don't know anybody who became a doctor by accident. You had to have a certain set of skills. You had to work very diligently, and you had to pursue this. It's not like this was just something that, you were born with or something. You had to have a certain set of skills. And here's just an example of some of those skills here: active listening, reading comprehension, judgment, decision making, critical thinking, scientific skills, problem solving, oral expression. Those are all just some of the skills that you need to actually practice medicine, no matter what level you're at. And what happens is once you're in medicine, you start to realize that the way the system is set up is basically somewhat to put you as a cog in a wheel or cog in a system. You're not able to even, use your creative potential. For most people that are practitioners, there's skill growth areas. Their ability to do skills are decreasing while the production requirements on them are increasing. They want you to do the same thing over and over, no matter what. The insurance companies are going to tell you what you're allowed to do. And they tell you that basically because they say, hey, I'm not going to pay for it. So if you want to do it, you get to pay for it. And for most of us, we're not in the benefit of offering, free healthcare to people. But basically, your skills and your creativity have been absolutely taken away from you by a system that essentially is falling apart. And that's just another reason why you have to escape. And that's why I want to talk briefly about the art of aesthetic medicine. One of the best things about going into aesthetics is that it changes the way that you practice. You're no longer restrained by, certain rules and algorithms by insurance companies or Medicare or whatever. There is an art to what you do. The way that you are able to make someone attractive or make someone beautiful by your procedures, that is up to you. It's not up to anybody else. You have autonomy in doing it. You can decide where to put the Botox. You can decide where to put the fillers. You can decide where to put the regenerative injections, right? That is an art you get to practice. And for me and for most of the people that I've talked to that went into aesthetic medicine, there was a creative part of us that had existed that really drove us into medicine. And when we got to the actual practice of medicine, all that had been taken away. No longer was it about, hey, let's do what's best for the patient. Let me think of something that may help the patient the most. It was the algorithm defined. The insurance company wants you to do this, this, this. Even if it doesn't make sense, you have to do it. And now in aesthetics, you don't have that anymore. You can decide what kind of treatment you want to give. You can decide what's best for the patient. You and the patient can work together and figure out how you're going to accomplish the goal. And it's so fun. The other thing I've loved about aesthetic medicine is that it in itself is such a fun thing to study. What you see here on the left is this little squiggly line that looks kind of like a nautilus shell. Is actually a nautilus shell, by the way, is actually called the golden ratio. It's a mathematical ratio that's found all in nature. It's found in our Milky Way galaxy. It's found on the curve of a nautilus shell. It's found in a sunflower. And it's also found on our faces. And so these ratios are really important. And one of the coolest things that you learn in aesthetics is how to see these ratios and how you can adjust these ratios on people's face or I guess other body parts if you want to, and basically make them more attractive because you understand the art of aesthetic medicine. And it's something that's so fulfilling. And for me, it filled a big gap that was there in medicine because I felt like I didn't have any creativity or even really any input into the way things worked. Patients came in, there was an algorithm defined by Medicare, an algorithm defined by Blue Cross, an algorithm defined by Humana, and you had to do whatever that was. And that was it. Now there's none of that. I can actually look at someone and say, hey, what is it that you desire? And then I can look at these ratios and you can give them the ability to have such great experience and so much confidence. It's so fun.